would be Speaking first to us would be Santiago Jose, Caribbean sales manager, educator, ambassador, and lifelong learner based in Puerto Rico. Santiago is a purpose driven educational leader guided by faith and gratitude with a passion for empowering people, strengthening partnerships, and inspiring growth through authentic connections and continuous learning. Our trainer, who he will introduce, is Brenda Acevedo, Customer Service Specialist in Higher Education and EdTech at Cengage. With over 4 years of experience supporting colleagues and universities, Brenda specializes in onboarding, training, and driving technology adoption, always with a focus on improving student engagement and institutional success. So please join me in welcoming very warmly Mr. Santiago Jose, who will begin, and that will be followed. He will introduce Brenda, and then Brenda will take it away. So let us welcome our guests from the beautiful um, geographical location of Puerto Rico.
Good
Thank you
morning,
so much, Chanel. Thank you so
Jose.
much.
Jose, Brenda, good morning and happy new year to you both.
Morning.
So glad to have you
Thank
both
you.
of you on the call. Before we go on, I insist that you don't call me Dr. Bethel. I want you to be calling me Edward, please. We've known each other for 3, 4 years now. Come on. Okay, so Brenda, Jose, it's great to have both of you with us. I just wanted to put that in there.
Thank you, Edward. Appreciate that. And that's a great way to start this session. And first of all, wishing everyone in the call happy new year, full of stories of a lot of success and full of blessings and great health. May you all have a year full of exciting activities, exciting engagement with your students and community at UB. And we are more than happy and pleased to engage once again and as many times as needed with the lovely faculty and community at the University of the Bahamas. As Chanel introduced myself, that I couldn't done better than that. So I appreciate Chanel. I'm here not just only as a representative from Cengage to provide and support the community at UB. And by community, I mean every single person inside the UB campus and across the Family Islands, because we engage with administrators, with instructors, with students, with leadership teams, with Chanel, with Edward. So please keep that engagement, keep that enthusiasm to reach out to us by any means. If we are here with you, it's a truly commitment that we are going to be emphasizing throughout every single day with the entire community at the University of the Bahamas. We have engaged in many sessions before, and this is going to be a totally different one since Cengage is improving most of our digital content with the integration of AI, and not just only as AI as we know it, but we have incorporated many resources that will benefit not just only the student at the front end, but also the instructor with many new resources that are being adding up to the content that you already are using and in place. So for us, it's more than an honor and a pleasure to be engaging with you all. And hopefully, it's already time for me to pay a visit in person as well as Brenda. So we will be engaging an in-person visit pretty soon, hopefully before the next school academic year starts. So we'll be there. We'll be there for sure, knocking on your door and shaking hands in person. Without any further information or presentation, I will leave you to Brenda so she can maximize her time and her session with you guys. So may you all have a great day, a great session, and I'll be here in the background listening to all the engagement activities that you have set up for today.
Perfect. Good morning, everyone. Hoping everyone in the call Happy New Year as well. Today, I will be presenting two platforms that will help professors to create assignments or tests. I will start with the See Now application This application is inside our digital platform, MindTap. And professors that are using this platform currently, they will need to check if the test bank is available through this application. Then I will show Cognero and how to create tests from that platform. And also you will be able to convert the test banks into Word, and I think PDF is provided as well. And you can also export the test banks in Moodle format. So you will be able to upload the content in your Moodle platform and create your test from there if is that the process that you want to do. I will start sharing my screen. Okay, I created a course already in my account for MindTap, and I will guide you how you will access the See Now application inside the MindTap platform. For that, I will need to click where it says Add Create right here, and I will select Activity. And then I will look for the See Now homework activity application right here. And from here, I will have a list of all the assignments that are already included in my course, but I also have the opportunity to create a new assignment in this option right here. I'm going to click Create Assignment. And this is the category that you want to assign your test or your homework. I'm going to select Test as my category. And I will click Continue right here. And now I'm going to give it a name. Let's put See Now Training. And I'm going to click Continue. And now it's providing me with all of the resources available to create homework or test bank. This book has a test bank with a video repository, but the one I will be using is the one that says See Now Text Bank Repository. The other ones are homeworks. It's possible that the book you are using only has the test bank and one resource for homework only, not all of this amount of resources available. It depends on the book that you are using. I will show you how you can mix chapters, or let's say, for example, you are creating a midterm with 3 different chapters, how you will do this process. You can select the 3 chapters at the time, but I will show you why I prefer going one by one, so you can differentiate the questions in each chapter. But first, I'm going to select the 3 chapters at the same time, and I'm going to click Continue. And now the program is giving you some information. For example, the difficulty level for this question is moderate. You have questions that will be graded automatically and others will need to be graded manual. This means these questions are essay type and the platform does not grade them automatically. So you will need to go access your students' test, check what they wrote in their answer, and you add the points manually to those questions. And right here, the values will be the same. They are non-algorithmically. This means all your students will see the same questions. Because I selected these 3 chapters at the same time, I will have 255 questions for multiple choice and 45 questions for essay. You will be able to modify this amount. Let's say you only want 5 questions from essay, but it will be random. So I'm going to leave the 45 and I'm going to click Continue. Now you will have the 300 questions in the same question selection part. And this is why if you're creating tests for multiple chapters, I recommend going one by one, because if not, you will have them all mixed in the same area and you will need to start differentiating them depending on the chapter. If you see right here, MC means multiple choice. There are some books that has fill in the blank. The acronym is FITB, and there are other questions of type true or false, and you will see the TF right here. And the essay types, there are the other type right here. I'm going to go back to show you how you will be selecting chapters individually. I'm going to click add more questions in here. And now I'm going to uncheck the other two chapters. And I'm going to stay only with chapter 1. And I'm going to click update in here. And now, okay. You see that it changed the amount of multiple choice and essay. And now if I only want, let's say 3 questions, essay type for chapter 1 only, I will be able to modify that amount of questions. And let's say I only want to be displayed 50 questions for multiple choice. And now I'm going to click continue. And all the questions I will be presented in here are for chapter 1 only. So I don't have to go looking between chapters and get confused or questions mix or something. To preview the question, you will need to click on top of the name and you will see the preview right here. And in case you want to know the correct answer, you have the option of check my work right here. And it will tell you the correct answer for this one is the letter B. If you want to include this question, you can select it. Let's say, let me look for this one. I want to include as well this question, and you can continue previewing the questions and marking the ones that you want to include in your test. For the essay type questions, this is how it will look. Let's say I want to include this question, and you can continue including or selecting the questions. And once you finish, you can click right here, include. And now I have 5 questions selected for my chapter 1 quiz. If you want to go back and add more questions for chapter 2, I'm going to click here where it says add more questions. And now I'm going to uncheck chapter 1, click on chapter 2 and update. And now I click OK. And now I will be seeing the questions for multiple choice and essay for chapter 2. Let's do the same. Let's say only 50 and 5 in here. And I will click continue. And you will continue again reviewing the questions and selecting the ones that you want to include. Let's go right here. I have 3 so far, and let's go look for 2 essays. And this one. Once I finish selecting my questions, I will click include right here. And now I have 10 questions so far. If there is any question about this process, let me know, because I'm going to move to explain now how to create pools in this platform. I see there's some chats. Let me check. Okay.
Sorry, yeah, no, I don't think there are any questions. You can go ahead.
Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
Brenda.
Perfect.
Sorry, I was trying to say it, but
Don't worry. Okay, so I'm going to go add more questions. And now I'm going to select chapter 3, and I'm going to show you how to create a pool of questions in chapter 3. I will click update. Okay. And I'm going to leave the complete questions for multiple choice available and the essay. And I'm going to click continue. Let's say I review my questions already. I previewed them and I know the questions that I want to create my pool. So I'm going to select these 5 questions. And now I'm going to go in this menu right here and select the option create new pool from selected questions. And now I'm going to click create. Let's give it a name. Let's say chapter 3 multiple choice. And I want each question to have a value of 1 point. And I'm going to tell the system out of these 5 questions, select 2 of them randomly for each student. And I will click create. And now you will see the pool right here. The system will select randomly 2 questions out of these 5 to each student. You can make a pool of the 85 questions, for example, for multiple choice. You can select them all and tell the system out of these 85, only select 5 questions by chapter. You can also do this by chapters. Once you finish adding your questions or creating your pools, you will click continue right here. And now you will be presented with the settings for this test. You will need to select how many times your students will be able to take the test. You can leave it as 1 or 2, as many times as you will allow them. You even have the option of unlimited. Let's select 2 takes. You can add time. Unlimited, they will be having no time restrictions. If you select a time restriction, you will need to input the amount of minutes. Let's say they will have 60 minutes to complete this test. You can add a password, but then you will need to share it with them so they can access the test. And because I selected only 12 questions at 1 point each, that's why I have 12 points only. But if you want to change the possible score, let's say to 24, it will be 2 points per question now. You will be able to do it as well. If you select practice, your students will see the number of the score, but if they don't complete the assignment, it will not have an effect on their grades in the grade book. Let's leave it as graded. Which scoring you want to use out of these 2 attempts, if it's the last one or the best one between those 2 attempts. In this part, there are no numbers in the questions, so I will leave it only exact answer is correct. And in the part how the test will be generated, you have 2 options right here. Because I have a pool and I am allowing my students to have 2 takes. I have these 2 options. For example, I can tell the system to generate a test for each student and each take. This means the system will generate a set of questions for the first take. And if the student use the second attempt, they will get a new set of questions from the pool that I created. If not, if I select for each student on first take only, the system will generate a set of questions in that first take. And when the students use the second take, they will see the same questions from the first attempt. If you don't want them to see the same questions in the same order, I recommend to activate the shuffle option so they see it in different orders. And the hide question labels, I forgot to show you, and if I click back, I will get an error, but I can go back later and show you what the labels mean. Each question had like an identification that say chapter 1, and then it had like a code and numbers. That is the question label. If you don't want your students to see the question label, you can select the option to hide it. And right here in this part is the feedback that you want to provide your students after they finish taking this test. For example, in this first option, they will see the question details, their responses, and the question scores. You can leave it for them to see it if immediately after they take it, or you can specify a certain date when they will see this information. And the other option is they will see the correct answers and any feedback that will be provided from the platform in case it's available. I don't recommend activating this option immediately after they take it, especially if they have 2 attempts, because they will see the correct answers. Even though I created a pool of questions, it's possible that in the second attempt, they will be seeing the same questions if I selected for each student on first take only, or if I'm asking the system to generate a new exam on the second attempt, it's possible that from that pool, they can have a repeated question. That's the system who do it randomly, and we cannot control that. So I always recommend for instructors to select a certain day of when your students will see the correct answers, especially if it was a midterm and you have students absent for any medical reason, and you will allow them to take the test later. I recommend as well that you select a specific day for them to see the correct answers. You can leave the feedback and their points immediately, and then in here, select, let's say, another date. If there are any questions so far, let me know. Let me check the chat.
I see in the chat someone asked,
Okay.
does the platform allow a new text to be added, and how is it done?
No, MindTap will be specifically for one text.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to click Create Test. And professors that are using MindTap, it's important to let you know that I created the test, but it's not included in the learning path. For that, I will need to search for my test that I just created. I'm going to look for the name that I gave it. And now you can see right here, like this option to select. And also you will see that is not linked in the course yet. So I will need to select my test. Yes, my test, and then click continue. And it will take me again to review my options. Let's say these are my correct options. And now I'm going to click continue. And this part is where do you want this test to be located in your course. You can add a description in here. Let's say, for example, please answer the test in 60 minutes. Remember that if you require a password, you will need to share it with them so the students will be able to open the test. Right here, you will add the available and due date. Let's say this test will start today at say 9 a.m. And students will have until today at 10 p.m., let's say. So I'm giving my students, let's say, almost 12 hours to complete the test. This means that my students will be able to open this test in this time frame. And once they open the test, they will have 1 hour to complete it. And they also have 2 attempts because I gave them 2 takes. And now in the location part is where I want this test to be located. It could be inside a folder or a chapter, or you can leave it outside the contents of the folders. For example, let's say I want this to be located at the end of the complete course, and I will click add in here. And now the test will be at the end of all of the folders and the content in MindTap. When your students click in the test, they will see right here the instructions. Let's click start. And this is how they will be seeing the test. They will need to answer in here. Let's try to guess one of these multiple choice questions and hope I get one of them correct. Okay. Just so you can see how they see the score. And also they will see the timer right here of how much time they have available. And I think this is, yes, it's also multiple choice. Once I finish answering my questions, I will click submit test for grading. And the system is telling me that I have not completed 4 questions in this test if I'm sure that I want to submit for grading. If not, I can return and continue taking the assignment. I'm going to click submit for grading. And it's telling me that I have one more time to take the test. I don't remember if I made available to see the scores because it was supposed to show a temporary score in here or percent until the instructor completes reviewing the open questions or the essay questions. If I want to take this again, I will have another attempt to start my test, and I will get 1 full hour for this second attempt as well. If there are any questions from the CNOW homework and test application, let me know before I move to Cognero.
I don't see anything in the chat. I don't know if any professors have any questions. You can just raise your hand, open up your mic, or you can type it. But the chat doesn't show anything at this time.
Okay, perfect. Okay. So now I'm going to exit MindTap. And I will look for Cognero. If professor are using Cengage, don't see Cognero, please feel free to reach out to Jose or me, and we will check if Cognero is available and included in your instructor resource center. To look for Cognero, you will need to look where it says Access Instructor Supplements, and you will see the ebooks in different ebook readers and where it says Cengage Testing powered by Cognero. If I click right here to open the platform, and you will see the different test banks for the books that you have included in your account. For example, in this account, I have all of these textbook included, and that is why I'm seeing them showed in this part of Cognero. The first thing that I will show you is in case you are using a book and you don't see the test bank in a Word format, is because the company is eliminating the Word and PDF format for test bank to prevent them to being published in the internet, and you will find them mostly in LMS format. This means they have been adapted already for you to download the test in Moodle format, for example, and you will be able to upload it in your learning management system. And in there, you will be able to create your test with the questions from the test bank. For that, let's say I want to convert the test bank in Word. I don't know why it's not showing me for the student success in college. Let me check right here. It's not letting me use the student success. Let's use another book, but it's the same process. Once you extend the book, you should see the different chapters in here, and you will be able to drag and drop the content to the right side of the screen. Let me check if it will be from the top. Yes, it will be from here, my apologies. From where it says question sets. You will drag and drop the chapter, and you will be preview the questions with their answers. If you want to display more than 10 questions, you can click where it says all questions. And now you will be displayed all of the questions available in the test bank. These are the same questions that you will find inside the See Now application in MindTap that we just saw. And they are supposed to be in the same order, but I have help instructor create assignments, and we have find that not always they are in the same order. Let's say I want to export chapter the test bank for chapter 1 in Word format. Now I will click where it says File and Export. You have the option to print to PDF as well. For Word, you will need to click Export and use a Word document option right here. You will also have the option to export it as a Moodle format right here. Let's use the Word document. And now the system is generating the Word document. And once it's ready, you select where it says click here to download your Word document. And it will be downloaded automatically in your web browser. And once I click the file, it will open in the Word application. It's taking longer than I thought. Okay, open already. And you will have your test bank in Word format in here. You are able to edit this document. You can save it in your OneDrive, or if you use a USB or external drive, you will be able to do it as well. In case you want to do any changes, you can click the enable editing option and it will let you modify. Let's say if you want to change this answer right here and add your own one and modify the questions. It also lets you copy and select to copy and paste certain parts of the question or the complete question. Is there any question on how to convert your test bank into Word or PDF so far? I don't know where is, I moved the chat. Oh,
There's
hi.
nothing in the chat at this time.
Okay.
And again, faculty, you're encouraged, if you don't feel like typing, you can open up your microphone and engage in conversation. Simply ask a question, state the comment. But for right now, Brenda, there's nothing in the chat, okay?
Okay, perfect. I'm going to close this part. And now I'm going to the create a test option right here to show you how you can create a test using the Cognero application, and as well, you will be able to export it as a Word document, a PDF, or even as a Moodle format for you to upload in your course in Moodle. I will click where it says create a new test. And right here, I will need to give it a title. Let's say test 1. And I'm going to select my folder. Let's say I want to use the my test folder. I'm going to save it right here. If you want to create a new folder, you will need to use this space right here where it says folder name. And once you give it a name, you click create where it says new folder. So far, I'm going to use the my test folder. And you will be presented with different build options for this test. I'm going to use the build an empty test, and if we have extra time, I can show you the other two options. But basically, in these two options, you will tell the system if you want, let's say, 5 multiple choice questions, 3 fill in the blanks. It depends as well on the type of questions that are available inside Cognero. But they usually have, like the ones that we saw in the CNOW application, it will be essay type, true or false, multiple choice, and I think it will be those. Professor also have the opportunity to create their questions, especially for math. And there is more advanced features like creating math questions with more specifically, I would say language or math language. For example, you can tell Cognero to use different values for your students in math, and you select the range of those values that will be used. But this is specifically for math courses. Right now, this is already a course with the questions that have been built, and I'm going to use the same questions from the test bank to build a test. And I'm going to select the build an empty test option, and I will click finish right here. I have my empty test. You can click in the new question option right here. Let me show it again right here, and select the type of question that you want to use. But for me, it's easier to extend the questions in chapter 1 right here. And if you want a preview of the question, you can hover your mouse over the questions and they will preview. If you want to include this question, all you have to do is drag and drop the question to the right side of your test. Let's say you want to use this question as well. And let's move now to chapter 2 and continue including my questions. Right here. For me, this is the easier way of creating the test. I have not tried this in the past, but to answer the professor question, if you can mix content from different book, let me check if the system, if Cognero allows me to use questions from another test bank, for example. I don't have anything similar to this book, but let's use this one. And I understand, yes, it will allow me. Cognero will allow professors to mix different text banks, but not see now inside MindTap. This is another book different from the one that I was using, and I'm able to include the questions. Once you finish creating your test, I have 7 questions already. You can edit the questions right here in the pencil. If you want to include, for example, please answer this question in essay format, for example. You can modify the question. And once you finish, you click OK. And you can modify the rest of the questions as well. Another feature that is available is to select multiple questions instead of going one by one. It will be by doing a right click in here in the chapter 1, and then you use the enable multi-select for this set right here. And now you can select multiple questions once you preview them. And instead of going one by one, you will be able to include all of these questions on the test at the same time. And now I'm going to click the right click again and select Add to Existing Test or Set. And let's look for all tests, my test, and I named it test 1, and I have another one with the same name. Let's hope it's this one. Let me check if it was this one. Yes, it was this one because it changed now to 11 questions. Okay, once you finish adding your questions, you will do the same process of file, export, and you have the option of a Word document, or if you want to upload this test bank that you generated in Cognero to Moodle, you will need to select the option of, let's go to File, Export, and you click the option that says Blackboard for Moodle. And that document will be downloaded specifically for you to upload it in Moodle. It's a zip file. Let's open the test 1. I think there is a question in the chat. Let me check. Okay. So now this is the test that I just created with my 11 question, and I was able to mix content from different books in this test. And this was the chapter. If I try to open the zip file for Moodle, it will give you an error, or you will not be able to do it because this is already adapted for you to upload it in Moodle. If there are any questions so far, let me know.
Okay, the chat doesn't have anything at this time, so I think we're doing really good. And I know it's a lot to absorb, and I don't want faculty to feel overwhelmed in any way because this session is being recorded, and once it is made available, you can take your time and watch it and walk through it again. But no one has posted anything in the chat. So I guess for right now, we're okay. And you can continue.
Okay, perfect. Let me show the other two options that were available to create a new test. Let's do test 2 in here, and it will be saved in the my test folder location. And I'm going to select this first option that says build a test with questions randomly selected by question type from the 16 question sets. I'm going to click next, and I'm going to look for my book that it was student success, and I'm going to select chapter 1 only for this test, and I'm going to click next. And this is what I mentioned, that you will be able to build your test from the amount of questions that will be available. For example, this test only has the multiple choice, like we saw inside the MindTap platform, and the essay. If you want to randomly build this test, let's say tell the system to select 5 questions for multiple choice and randomly select 5 questions for essay. And now I'm going to click next. This will be the amount of questions for this new test, and I will click finish. And now the system randomly created this test for me with the amount of questions that I asked the system to do it. And as well, it will be the same process to save this or export it as a Word document or a Moodle format. Okay, yes.
Brandon, really quickly, once the test is generated, will students be able to actually take it in their MindTap platform, or does it have to be exported to an LMS format?
This one specifically in Cognero will need to be exported as a Word document
Okay.
or Moodle format.
Okay. I seem to remember that I seem to remember me asking you the same question the last time around.
Don't worry. Don't worry. I know in the past, Cognero used to allow professors to create their courses and enroll students. But I don't know if that is still available and how the purchase work. I don't know if Jose is aware of if it's available to be used that way right now. But mostly I use it to show professors how to create their tests, to upload them in Moodle, and how to convert the test bank in Word formats.
Sure.
Okay. If there are any questions or if any professor want me to review a specific process again, let me know.
I would request if you can just go through it, if you can just go through it one more time, the steps, just for recording purposes for persons. And like I said, I know this is a lot to digest, but when they go through the recording and they sit, they can walk, play, in that regards. So if you could just go through the steps very quickly one more time, that can work.
Okay, for Cognero.
Yes.
Good. I have my hand. Good morning,
Okay, go
everyone.
ahead. Go ahead, Dr. Curtis.
Okay. Brenda, thank you so much. We work very well together, and you are extremely responsive to many of our requests. But I just would like for you to go over again, and I think Mrs. Brown, Ms. Shamel just mentioned it, in terms of the exporting of the quizzes in Word. I would like to see that again, please.
Okay, perfect.
All
You
right.
mean
Yeah, just that one. Thanks.
for the test bank?
For the test bank, yes.
Okay, perfect. Once you access Cognero, you will need to look for your book. Remember that I have many displayed in here because it's what I have included in my account. But for example, I have student success in college in here, and I extended in this arrow. And what I will do is to export the test bank for the complete chapter is to select it and do a drag and drop feature or option in the computer. And now it will be open in this area. If you want to display more than 10 questions, this is by default. You will at first you will see 10 questions only. But if you want to see all of the questions at once, click all questions. And now they will be displayed in the same format. And once you have all your questions, you click File. And now you can click Export and Word document right here. The system will start generating that Word document, and when it's ready, you will see this message that says, click here to download your Word document. When I select click here, it downloaded automatically into my web browser. And now I can open the document from the download option in my browser. This was the test that I created. Let me, it's loading right here. This is the test bank for the chapter 1. And there should be 100 questions.
Thank you very much.
Perfect. Right here. If you want to export the rest of the chapters, it will be the same process. Let me go back and do it with chapter 2, for example. I'm going to close chapter 1 right here and do the same with chapter 2. I will drag and drop chapter 2 to the right side of the screen. Again, you will be showed only 10 questions, but if you want to see how many questions are available, you have the amount right here. And if you want to see more than 10 questions, you have the option to increment the amount of questions displayed. If not, let's say I want to export it. I will click File, Export, and Word document. And now it will be generating this Word document for chapter 2. If I click here, it downloads automatically into my web browser and is opening now in my Word document. And right here, you will have your questions. And it also, I noticed that it gives you the answers for, or what your students should answer, because answers may vary, and it's telling you in here. If there are any questions or you want me to repeat another process, let me know.
I don't think there is any questions in the chat pertaining to that. But does anyone else have a request for anything else to be repeated whilst the recording is going, so that once we actually generate and share the recording, you would have something explaining the steps that you're interested in? I would encourage you, invite you to ask that question now. Otherwise, you can always get back to Brenda via email. And Jose Santiago, if you're still on the call, could you probably put Brenda's contacts in the chat for her, in case anyone wants to directly reach out to her? And if you can't or don't remember how to, you reach out to us and Open Learning, and we connect you with them the fastest, best way we know how to. And like Dr. Curtis said, they're very responsive, always available, and always on time with assisting us. So you can continue.
Okay. So basically this will be all between CNOW application and MindTap, in MindTap, my apologies, and Cognero test generator. So that's why you mentioned if any professor wants me to repeat any of their processes, let me know and I can go back.
Okay. So I think everyone is okay with the contents for right now, which you would have presented. Anyone else have any last requests? Okay, thank you, Mr. Santiago. So Brenda's email and Santiago's email was placed in the chat for you. If for whatever reason you need to reach out to them, you need to contact them, you need to schedule a training session one-on-one, you have a question, you watch the video, something is not clear, you forgot something. I don't think you can ever not reach Ms. Robinson and Dr. Bethel, right? But if you can't reach us for whatever reason, you can call them or message them directly, because they are just as responsive as we are their extended arm to try to help in any regard. And if you do not have anything else further to ask, I want to take this time to say thank you to Cengage, the Cengage team. And I'm not being biased or anything. I must say that out of all of the publishers, the Cengage team is always, 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 even if there's something wrong, something on the student side, something, they're very, very, very responsive. And, we have a beautiful working relationship. Not saying we don't with the other publishers. I'm not being biased here. I want to come to Puerto Rico just as bad as y'all want to come to the Bahamas, because I've never been there. you know. So thank you so much, Brenda. Thank you so much, Santiago, and to the professors on the call. We do hope this actually was helpful for you, and we will share the recording as you go into week 1 next week. What we want you to do is use the Cengage tool, not like you've been using the Cengage tool. That's the goal. Every year we got to try something different. Every year we got to up our skill set a notch. Every year we got to try to incorporate some different aspect of the e-textbook so that we can hone the skills to really exhaust the resource, to really put the students in the moment where they can truly engage with the content. And that's why we We know you guys know how to get to the Instructor Resource Center. We've done that for like 2 years. So, so that's why we said, okay, time to change focus, time to get into the textbook, time to get to the test. Go over the hard stuff. Let's start practicing the skill sets to really exhaust the textbook. And I think you guys did an excellent job. I know you guys did an excellent job this morning that the professors really appreciate, and they can put these skills to practice in order to create tests, use the test banks, create assignments, and get the students really immersed in the textbooks. Any last words, Santiago, Miss Brenda?